Picture yourself in the grand halls of Tudor England, a seasoned noble reflecting on the weight of history. When the sharp thud of an axe echoes through Tower Hill, signaling the fall of a once trusted guardian, this is the silent treachery of John Dudley, Duke of Northumberland, whose ambition to crown Lady Jane Grey in 1553 led to his shocking beheading in 1553, a betrayal that stunned a kingdom. What if the real intrigue lies not in the execution, but in the whispers of deceit that turned allies into foes? For those of us who cherish the lessons of the past, this tale offers a window into the shadows of power. Will it captivate your seasoned curiosity? Join Tales of Torment as we step into the somber corridors of 16th century England, unveiling a story of ambition and downfall that will linger in your thoughts. Dare you explore this hidden treachery? Stay with us, dear viewers, as we unravel a narrative that speaks to the wisdom of age and the weight of history. In the rolling countryside of Warwickshire, England, in the year 1504, John Dudley was born into a family of modest gentry. His father, Edmund Dudley, a trusted advisor to Henry VII, whose fortunes rose and fell with the king's favor. John's early years were shaped by the shadow of his father's execution in 1510 under Henry VIII. A lesson in the precariousness of courtly life that instilled in him a keen sense of survival. Tall and sharp-witted, with a demeanor that commanded respect, John trained in law and arms, his intellect honed by tutors, his ambition kindled by a desire to restore his family's standing. His power, once unassailable, teetered. The silent seeds of betrayal sown among those he trusted, setting the stage for his dramatic fall. By his 20s, he entered royal service, his skills earning him a place in the household of Edward Seymour, Duke of Somerset, where he navigated the turbulent politics of Henry VIII's later years. John's rise accelerated with Edward VI's ascension in 1547 at 43. He became a key figure in the young king's council, his military prowess showcased in campaigns against Scotland, his wealth growing through strategic marriages first to Jane Guildford, then to alliances that bolstered his influence. His family, including sons like Robert, stood by him, yet the court's tension hinted at a storm, his ambition a beacon that drew both allies and enemies. Lord President of the Council, he wielded power over the realm, his hand guiding Edward's Protestant reforms, his estate sprawling across the Midlands, a testament to his success. Yet his ambition found its greatest test in Lady Jane Grey, the king's cousin, whom he saw as a pawn to secure his dynasty's future. In 1553, as Edward's health failed, John orchestrated a plan to bypass Mary Tudor, naming Jane Queen through a forged will. His influence over the dying king, a silent coup. The scheme unfolded with Jane's 9-day reign. John's troops securing London, but the move sparked outrage among nobles loyal to Mary. A chronicler of the time reflected, Dudley's rise was a ladder of cunning, his power a throne built on sand. John's control tightened, his council manipulating Edward's will, but whispers of discontent grew. By July 1553, John's plan neared fruition, Jane crowned, but Mary's support swelled. In the sweltering summer of 1553, the web of ambition ensnared John Dudley, his rise as Jane Grey's guardian unraveling in a tapestry of treachery that would seal his fate. At 49, his once sharp features were etched with the strain of power, his hands steady as he orchestrated Jane's coronation on July 10, 1553, a move to secure his lineage on England's throne. While the Earl of Arundel, a rival, fed intelligence to the princess, his ambition to replace Dudley as power broker, the council's verdict loomed, Mary's triumph a shadow over his once mighty name. The web of deceit closing with relentless precision. On July 19th, Mary's forces marched on London, her proclamation as queen, overturning Jane's reign. His sons faced their own fates, the court a stage of retribution. His ambitions collapse, a silent testament to the treachery that defined his end. And Dudley's allies melted away, their silence a dagger in his back. Rested at Cambridge, he faced the Tower, his pleas to Mary ignored, her council demanding his head as a warning to traitors. The evidence mounted forged documents, witness testimonies from turned allies, painting him as the architect of a coup, his ambition a noose around his neck. A contemporary scribe noted, Dudley's web was his undoing, his ambition a thread that snapped under loyalty's weight. The Tower of London buzzed with his troops, their loyalty bought with promises, while Jane, reluctant queen at 16, stood as his puppet, her reign a fragile illusion. Yet the web tightened Mary. Tudor, Henry VIII's daughter, rallied support in East Anglia, her Catholic allies whispering of rebellion, their numbers swelling as nobles defected from Dudley's cause. John's council, once united, fractured. His son Guilford's marriage to Jane, a bond that alienated peers, their murmurs of betrayal growing louder. The treachery deepened within his own ranks. Sir Henry Sidney, a trusted lieutenant, began secret correspondence with Mary's supporters, his loyalty swayed by fear of reprisal. John's isolation grew, his family's pleas unanswered, as Sidney's betrayal was confirmed. The trial began, John's defenses crumbling under Arundel's evidence. On August 22, 1553, John Dudley's fall and execution unfolded on Tower Hill. A somber spectacle that marked the end of a once powerful guardian, the air heavy with the weight of history. At 49, his once commanding frame was stooped, his sharp features hollowed by weeks in the Tower, his hands bound as he faced a crowd of thousands, merchants, nobles, and clergy, their faces a mix of relief and dread under a gray London sky. Clad in a simple black doublet, his ducal splendor stripped away, John climbed the scaffold, his step faltering yet his voice steady, a man confronting his fate with a dignity born of experience. Jane Grey's execution followed, her guardian's fate a prelude, the Tower a monument to the silent betrayals that shaped a kingdom's history. The executioner, a burly figure with a steady hand, tested his axe, its edge gleaming. The crowd murmuring of Dudley's rise and fall as council seat, his control over Edward VI, his treachery with Jane Grey. John spoke, his words a reflection for those of mature years. I have erred, yet I served my king with intent. Oh, not malice may. God judge me kindly. He knelt, his head on the block, refusing a blindfold. His neck bared with a grace that hushed the jeers, his prayer a murmur to the heavens. The axe fell once, a clean strike severing his head, blood spurting onto the straw, his body slumping as the crowd fell silent. Some crossing themselves, others nodding in grim satisfaction. The executioner lifted the head, its eyes closed, a final image of a duke undone. The head displayed briefly before being placed in a basket. His body was interred in the Tower Chapel, a modest grave for a traitor, the site soon forgotten by all but historians. Mary's council declared his death a triumph of justice. Yet the silence of his allies lingered, a testament to the treachery that felled him. A chronicler of the era penned, Dudley's head fell, his ambition a shadow that faded with the axe's stroke. The crowd dispersed, their whispers of justice mixed with pity. The execution, a stark reminder of Tudor power. John's family mourned in private, his son's fate sealed, the hill marked by his blood, a silent echo of his rise and fall. Mary's reign solidified, but the treachery's cost lingered. John Dudley's silent treachery left a scar on Tudor history, his name a whisper of ambition and regret that outlasted his severed head. Mary reclaimed the throne, her Catholic rule reinforced, yet Dudley's plot fueled Protestant resilience. His story a cautionary tale for those of us who reflect on power's perils. No monuments rose for him, no elegies sang his early service, but his narrative spread through chronicles and hearths, a lesson in the fragility of trust. His sons, scattered by exile and execution, carried the family's shame, while Catherine Grey, Jane's sister, bore the legacy of his failed scheme. John's end mirrors the dark costs of overreaching, where loyalty turns to betrayal under a crown's weight, where a guardian's ambition meets the axe of justice. For those of us in our wiser years, his tale warns of the shadows cast by unchecked power, a legacy etched in the stones of Tower Hill. John Dudley's treachery was more than an execution. It was a silent unraveling of a guardian's ambition, carved in deceit and sealed by the axe. A stoic fall on Tower Hill, the whispers of betrayal by allies. The shadow of Jane Grey's brief reign haunt history's corridors, a tale that will resonate with your seasoned curiosity to the final stroke. From Warwickshire's fields to the scaffold's edge, his life was a tapestry of rise and ruin, his end a chilling echo in Tudor shadows. This forgotten drama burns bright amid the past's darkness, a mystery begging your reflection. Crave more tales of Tudor betrayal to ponder in your golden years? Subscribe to Tales of Torment now and explore our next video on a medieval outcast's gruesome fate. Don't miss a moment of history-esque lessons. Hit the bell icon to stay connected, share this with fellow history enthusiasts, and let's reflect on the past together. Was Dudley's downfall a plot of his own making, or a victim of courtly intrigue? Share your thoughtful insights in the comments. Join our community of mature minds and help shape the next chapter of our journey. Step into the shadows with us, where history's whispers await your wisdom.